he said, when I book in the WCW, my son, Jeff Jarrett, he goes, is going to be there, and I want you. You've been screwed over so many times, and he told me I was one of the greatest workers in the business, and he knows how much I love my dad, and said the right words, the right magic. I don't know if he meant it or not. I think he did, but it got me out there, and I was only making $700 a week, and after about 2 months, they put the belt on me. Or actually about a month, they put the USW belt on me to give me a little prestige, but all I want is money. I don't want belts. Money is the name of the game.
Exactly.
It's business. It's weird how this business is. Some guys would rather have a belt around their waist and make 10 times less money. You know?
Ego.
Rip Oliver did that. My friend that I told you about,
Right.
he was champion of Portland. I got him booked in the WWF, and he didn't want to do a job for Jake the Snake Roberts and put the snake around him.
Right.
That's just the test they give you when they go in there. And he failed the test, and they fired him, or he quit, one or the other, and went back to making $700 a week in Portland instead of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in the WWF so he could be champ. It didn't mean that rip, but you know it's the truth, you know. And so I got down there, things are going good. They like my work. I'm still doing the Full Nelson, other vicious stuff,
Right.
you know. And next thing you know, I'm making 100 a match. They're bringing now in the territory, went from Memphis, went from 400 or 500 people a week to 2,000, 3,000 people, because I was in there and I was healing for the first time. I was a heel, other than Black Blood.
Right.
Billy Jack was a heel. I went back to that gimmick, Billy Jack, but I was a heel, Billy Jack Haynes.
Right.
And that got over strong with the interviews. It was all real shoot to me, and I was mad anyway. So it became a real.
Right.
Even Sid Vicious said, "Man, you know, I like Sid Vicious too. A big stand-up guy, you know." And in fact, Sid Vicious was the first guy I wrestled. He brought Sid Vicious in from the WWF, and so we were in the main event in Memphis. And I took Sid to the side and I said, "Sid, what are they paying you for this?" And Sid would tell me because we're close. He said, "Well, they're paying me my guarantee, you know." I said, "What is it?" He said, $2,000. I said, "Isn't that great? What do you think I'm getting paid?" Because probably 500, knowing Jerry, you know, Lawler, not Jerry.
Right.
I said, "I'm getting paid $100. He got furious. He couldn't believe it. He said, "Man, I can't believe how they're doing you, man." And he told him to, you know. And we went out and wrestled, and we did a double DQ that day. They never put me over him or didn't want to hurt me in my own territory. So, but we worked real good together. Sid Vicious, is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still doing
Okay,
it.
good.
Yep.
Good, I'm glad of that. And he lived in Memphis, by the way. I think he got his break there.
Right. Right.
And he told me about that, but he didn't like Lawler, I don't think. And I don't know many people who do, but you know. How you doing, brother? Please, people listening to me, don't think that I'm, like Vince said, crying over spilt milk, because that's Vince McMahon's favorite word. But I went once again with the intent of going down there for 4 months and then getting in WCW and getting a big contract, because I was in great shape, you know, still bench pressing probably 4 or 5 for sets of 8, and I was weighing 280. When I quit steroids, I didn't lose. A lot of guys lose their strength and their muscle mass. I didn't do it because I was naturally big, come from a big family, you know.
Right.
And so after 4 months passed, and they're bringing in now every other week they're bringing in a WWF star to up the main event, using me as a guy, paying 100. Sid Vicious paying 2,000, and they brought in. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but they did bring in Luger and Davey Boy Smith in a tag match against a guy named Brian Lee, and myself.
Right. I remember.
Do you know Brian
Yep.
Lee? I don't think he ever made it big.
He went to ECW, and he came into WWE for like a brief couple months as the Undertaker's twin, and they feuded.
So he did make it for a while.
Yeah, he did the Undertaker gimmick. Yeah, they brought him in as like a double of him. So
he did pretty damn good.
And then he went off. Yeah.
What happened then?
He made it there. He's best friends with Undertaker. They used him for a little bit, and then they got rid of him after they did the program with him and Undertaker.
Bad, because I was going to tell you, the guy had a lot of talent,
Right, right.
a lot of natural, God-given talent. He was a heel, and I was a heel in USWA.
Right.
And so they brought in, I don't know what Brian was making, probably 75. I'm making 100. And the crowd's going up to 3,000, 4,000 for a week
Right,
in Memphis. And it went up before they brought in the WWF guys, but Jerry Lawler would say, no, it's not you drawing the money, dude. It's the WWF guys, man, because I'm part of the WWF,
Right.
And so Jerry Lawler is so full of shit, that's what he would say. But before that, those guys came in. The heel job I did brought the crowd up. And I'm going to pat myself on the back once this time, because that's what happens when you get a good heel in there.